get back out on the pitch and show what we've been doing throughout the season.
Lauren, Liverpool, Ashton Gate on Sunday. How much are you and the players looking forward to it?
Yeah, it's been something that's been talked about for a little while now, isn't it? So we're finally in the week that we can prepare for it in terms of a group on the pitch, and the players are ready. They're itching to go. After the last time at Ashton Gate as well, you know, there's already some good memories and good feelings around the stadium. So yeah, it's definitely a big focus of ours. Less so just because it's Liverpool and it's at Ashton Gate, but because we're coming off the back of a loss. And the group of players that we've got want to put that right straight away with a performance rather than just a win, but actually knowing that at Sheffield we weren't ourselves, we didn't give ourselves the credit that we deserve and what we've worked towards. So straight away we want to get back out on the pitch and show what we've been doing throughout the season. I
suppose, is that the challenge as a head coach? There is the occasion and there is a record crowd, but actually your focus is putting right the things that didn't go well against Sheffield United, but obviously building on some of the positives during that game. Yeah, definitely, and the positives that we've had in the season. I think sometimes when we've had moments in the season where we've had bad performances, but maybe won 1-0, you know, away at Blackburn, for example, or when we've had bad performances and haven't won, we've then had to just reconnect with what we're good at, check ourselves in terms of our ball possession quite often, and go again, because the players, the staff all know that our standards have been set and they're very high, and when we don't hit them, it's a frustration, and that's something that we want to put right in whatever game was next. What it happens to be is the biggest game of our season against the only team above us, and also with the biggest fan base coming towards the game. And I think the players, myself, everybody involved want to make sure that this is a game that fans come to and think, I want to watch these again. So when you look back at Sheffield United, do you kind of think, well, actually, in the context of the season and all the positives that have come out of it, then that's what we need to take into as opposed to focusing on one particular reverse? Yeah, definitely. I think that's the big bit that comes out of it, is just making sure that we regroup and put our standards right. Obviously, it was a big knock losing Amy Palmer early doors in that game. And again, that'll be something that the players have in the back of their minds, because she's a big part of how we play. We've played without her before. We'll have to do it again, and we're ready for that. You know, we can change things up, and we'll do that. Yeah. Amy came off against Sheffield United. Unlikely to see her on Sunday. Will we see her again this season, do you think? No, I think that's it for her season. Obviously, we're at the back end of it now, so she's got, you know, some rehab to do, and it's going to take her out towards the end of the season, but she'll be back for next year. Well, we wish her all the best, and I'm sure she'll be encouraging and advising from the sidelines. Character like Amy, and I was with Abby on the Sound of the City show on Monday, how tight-knit this group seems to be, and you know, I see she talks really fondly about, you know, the whole squad. Is that something peculiar to this group of players? Is that something you work on? You know, there's this whole thing about supporting and challenging each other. That culture of the squad, you must be very impressed with how they've gelled together. Yeah, I think that's been something that's got us this far, because as a new group of players in a new league, you never know, do you? No, we didn't know what it would look like and what the group would look like realistically coming into it. And what we've done is create a really honest group of players that hold each other accountable, but enjoy each other's time. You spend a lot of time together, whether it's travelling on a bus, whether it's here at training. You know, if there's tensions in that group, it's obvious, but what we have got is a very, very close group. But I think that's come from being honest, but also being driven. They all have exactly the same target, and that's to get better, to make the team better, to make sure they make Bristol proud. And day in, day out, they're doing those things. And if somebody doesn't, then it's really obvious, and they get pulled back in. They don't get pushed out, and that's the difference. And it's the same for us as staff. We're honest. If somebody's not playing, we'll say what it is. If they're playing great, we'll tell them as well. So I think that's where it's come from. It's probably been less by design and more than just being ourselves. And having a group of players that have desire changes everything. You say that, but I'm thinking back to last summer when you had 2 or 3 players and then you had to recruit a lot, and it was a really busy time. those character traits, you must look at players and go, actually, technically, physically, very good. But actually, one thing that's attractive to us is how driven they are, how they would fit in. That must become part of the recruitment process.
Yeah, and that's what I'd always speak to, whether it's an agent, and then eventually the player themselves, is what they wanted. And if that didn't fit, if they were somewhere else, if they were just here for a short-term fix, but it wasn't right for us, then it wasn't going to work, because we've got a young team, and that's part of the desire as well. And they all want to get experience. So yes, it was certainly something that we looked for, so that we could build. And it's taken time and to find feet and find who the characters are, who are the leaders in the group. But also, by having such a new group, it's allowed those players to grow and have those leadership, stepping in moments where they have to go and say something. And that's what we've got here. We've got a group that, will ask questions, will at times help each other, coach each other, help each other through games, and that's what it's helped really with us. And I think where we're sat right now, second in the table, is a result of those things and the players in the group being able to do that.
You have got young players, and you can look at Brooke and look at Jazz Bull and many other in the squad. In terms of the occasion for Sunday, you're home, but you're you're like a home from home, as it were, in terms of Ashton Gate. Are you confident certainly the younger players who perhaps haven't experienced a big occasion of a crowd like that against Liverpool will be able to handle that?
I think it'll be tough, especially for those that have been brought up in the city, have been with us since they were 9.
It could be quite emotional for some of them.
Absolutely,
yeah.
But the team knows that there are emotional parts. It will be emotional because our captain isn't leading us out. There's be lots of parts of that, but as a result of all of them, making each other proud will sit above it and actually probably fuel us more. We've had moments where we've kind of prepared for this, so playing against Man City, obviously playing a big team, so that's part of the experience. Playing against Southampton and losing because they had a big crowd as well, and how that actually felt, part of that building experience. So, we look at it and try and twist it on the positive side. We're at home, and because of the club feel here, it still feels at home, because the men's first team, the women's first team, we train next to each other. We see each other in the hallway, we say hello. So it's not like we're going to play on someone else's pitch. We're playing on Bristol's pitch, and that's who we are. So I think that part of it helps. And then instead of having 5,000 away fans up against us, we should have a big noise for our players, and that'll be bigger than anything. That when there's tough moments in the game, if we go a goal down, if it's a bit of a stalemate, we have that extra player in the crowd that actually just gives us that boost to go, that's what we're here for. I think that'll be the difference.
And it's fantastic, and the games I've been to up here at the Robins High Performance Centre, crowds, they're really vocal, and do you feel as if there is a kind of sort of a real following for Bristol City? And coming from COVID, and you're out of the city, but you're back in now. Season tickets will go on sale on Monday. Do you feel as if there's something building here from the fan base?
Definitely, and I think it's been important that we do that. Reconnecting with the people of Bristol, the fans from previous, from years ago when I was here before.
Yeah.
That was something that we had better than anyone else in the league.
Fans, yes.
Yeah, and that was great to have. So the fact that we're now back in Bristol, playing at a great venue that actually people want to come and sit at and be at, then yeah, it's only going to grow. And the fact that we've already smashed our own record, the league record, everything we could, shows that we're ready to grow. And as a club that is on the pitch, off the pitch, and everybody in terms of staff and people here in the building do that job and do it well, and we're all on the same path. So it's the success of whatever happens on Sunday. We've beaten a record, we've got ourselves to second, and that's because of everybody's hard work. And we all want more. It's not going to stop there.
You're steeped in football, Lauren. For someone who's perhaps thinking about coming to a City game for the first time on Sunday, bringing their family, coming alone. You know, what can we expect? And you're not going to predict the result for me, I know. But from watching your team and from playing at Ashton Gate, what will it be like for someone to come and watch women's football?
I think the first thing is it's different. So if you've been to a men's game, it's a different atmosphere. There's a lot of families, a lot of young children. There is a different side to women's football in terms of that. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't know if football's for me, give it a try. In terms of what they'll see on the pitch, they'll see a group of players working hard.
Yep.
I really hope it's an entertaining game. It should be. It's set to be, but we all know that in football that doesn't always happen. And when we have put on a great show in terms of performance, we get a great noise, and a lot of that is young people in the crowd making that noise, and that's great as well. So just in terms of an atmosphere. But I think the biggest thing is give it a try if you haven't, and get behind us, because, you know, if nothing, if you've got a young daughter, they can look up to these players as leaders, as athletes, and see what they can achieve. And then at the end of the game, they'll get to meet them. So, you know, there's that kind of atmosphere where you can go and meet the players, see what they're about, ask them about the game. Whatever happens, they will do that.
Well, I think on behalf of everyone, I wish you the very best on Sunday.
Thank you very much.